Nincompoops.
It is time for Nincompoops in the news. You know what the news is. You've been listening to Jay Harper all afternoon long. You've heard me opine on said same. Now it's time for Weber, Harper, and Murphy to look all over these fine United States of America, nay, the globe, to find the Nincompoops and to report back to you. Before we get into the Nincompoopry, and Jay, we just kind of randomly pick who gets to go first, and you tell your story, and then the others tell their story, and then the audience gets to vote on all of this.
All right, fair enough.
So your goal is to be the big winner today. By the way, hot tip, I never win. I think I won once.
One time.
I've won once in the entire life of this segment that I came up with. Did we ever make a decision on people dying? Like if it's a Darwin Award, there has to be death involved, right? Because that's the nature of culling the herd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we decided that if it's I got somebody dying today that is my nincompoop. That's all I can tell you.
I think if it's a Darwin candidate, it's fair game. That's my opinion.
I'll tell you what, I'll go first.
I would agree.
I'll go first, and you guys can decide.
All right.
Y'all ready? A Georgia woman, this is the state of Georgia, not the country, who managed to escape her vehicle after a car crash, died tragically when she fell down a well moments later.
Good grief.
I mean,
I kind of feel bad now. I don't know. That's terrible.
It is. It's terrible. I don't know the woman. I did not cause that crash. I don't mean to laugh, but it is like it's out of a Peter Sellers Pink Panther movie. Just listen.
Right.
Authorities and family members frantically searched for Shirley Obert, who is a mother of four, 67 years of age, who went missing Saturday after being involved in a car crash in Monroe County. Obert was last seen wearing a red shirt and black pants. Police described this as her work outfit. She worked at Chick-fil-A. Okay, nobody's going to do it. Okay, good. On Sunday, that's smart. On Sunday, police discovered her body at the bottom of a, quote, deep well that was surrounded by brush, which was near where her car was found. You know what? I'm starting to regret doing this story, too. Ms. Obert appeared to have been trying to walk for help when the incident occurred. A spokesperson with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office said that the well was covered with thick brush and was not noticeable. We don't know exactly how she ended up in the wooded area where her car was found. Our fatality investigators are working on trying to piece everything together, but it is believed at the time of this writing that she swerved in the roadway, perhaps to avoid an animal or another vehicle, not believed to be another vehicle, but it's possible. Best guess is that after swerving, she ended up in a ravine next to the well. She was alive and well enough, no pun intended, to remove herself from the vehicle, but as she walked away from the vehicle, she fell down the well. Wow. I mean, talk about
It's just terrible luck.
That is an incredibly bad stretch of luck. As of Monday morning, they're raising money for her family members, and the family obviously devastated at the loss of their mother, and I'm kind of regretting bringing this up in Nincompoops. I just thought it was the coincidence of you're in an automobile accident, you survive the automobile accident, you're going to be okay, everything's going to be okay, and you step out of the car and bloop.
Yep.
Whoever left that open well without covering it is my nincompoop.
Yeah.
There you
and
go.
Also,
nice recovery there.
The subject of a lawsuit, probably.
Well,
yeah.
You would probably think, maybe so.
Well, they'd be, she shouldn't have been on the property.
I mean, I guess so. But that's just, the statistical possibility of that happening has to be astronomical.
Yeah.
You want Jay to go last?
That's fine.
It doesn't matter to me.
All right, so Chris, you go next.
Just a real quick aside. My dad actually got stuck in a well when I was a kid.
What?
Yeah, we had a well on our property, and he was down in it cleaning it out. He used a tow truck. My grandfather had an uncle. Both had a wrecker. Mm-hmm. Lowered him down with the winch. And the truck died. Mm-hmm. So he was unable to get out of said well for several hours. There was a pretty big panic ensued there.
I would think so.
We had to get the other tow truck from town to come out to then winch him out.
How deep was that?
He was probably it 20 feet down.
Yikes.
I mean, you could see him,
That's
but you
scary.
had to, and of course it's only like less than 2 feet wide at the point where he was.
Did he get a little claustrophobic?
He did get a bit
Big
claustrophobic.
time, yeah.
I would think, for me at least, and maybe for your dad too, if the winch is working and I know that I can get up at any moment, no problem.
Yeah.
But the moment I know
Yeah.
this is going to be an hour or so, then it starts. The walls start closing in, baby.
That sounds exactly what I remember of. Of course, I was probably 6 or so when it happened, so it's been a long time. But I vividly remember that the panic ensuing. We were getting ready to build our house on this property, and so there was nothing there. And this was back before cell phones, obviously. We had to get in the car and go to our closest next door neighbor, which was a couple of miles down the road, to call my grandfather, who was then on the other side of the county, to come from his house to bring his tow truck.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a hairy moment.
That when we were kids, that was a much bigger deal.
Falling in a well?
Falling in a well.
Yeah.
I mean, because there were so many wells.
Yeah.
And they were largely open wells.
Baby Jessica was the big story when I was a kid.
Oh man, that was a huge story, wasn't it? Yeah. And they got her out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they got.
She's alive and well.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She had to have skin grafts on her forehead and other parts of her body because she was wedged in there so long.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah. All right, let's lift ourselves out of this
lighten things up.
regretful Murphy moment, where I would like to note, just for the record, once again, whoever left the well open, that's the nincompoop. All right, go ahead, Weber.
Well, this proves that social media stupidity is not just limited to the United States. It happens in China as well. A couple in China thought they would film a funny video to post online in which they tried to see if the girlfriend's hand was small enough to fit in the boyfriend's mouth. Well, it was. She managed to stuff her fist inside the mouth just fine, but when she tried to pull it out, his mouth muscles stiffened and the hand became stuck. After repeatedly trying to pull the hand from the mouth, the young woman decided they needed medical attention and they went to the emergency room. Doctors were baffled until they heard the couple's story, saying that the woman told the doctor that her boyfriend's face gradually turned red and all of her efforts to yank her hand free from his mouth were useless. He drooled continuously because he couldn't close his mouth, and his throat made gurgling sounds. And then to make matters worse, his teeth started to clamp down on her wrist because his muscles were contracting involuntarily. She says, saliva ran down my wrist to my elbow. I felt like my hand was stuck in a meat grinder. So Dr. Zhang, the physician on the case, said the girl's hand got stuck because her boyfriend's jaw muscles had contracted, preventing him from opening his mouth, creating a dangerous cycle. The more pain, the tighter the jaw would clench. So to solve the problem, hospital staff first tried to calm the man down, prevent him from choking or vomiting. They played some soothing music, then used a special mouth opener to expand the jaw enough to inject a muscle relaxant in this specified area. After about 20 minutes, Dr. Zhang gently rotated the girl's wrist, taking advantage of the sliding properties of the jaw joint to finally unjam it, and he was finally free of the fist in the mouth. And, of course, he was then presented as a cautionary tale, warning people that forcing a person's jaw open can cause nerve damage and dislocation of the jaw. Secondly, why would you think that's a good idea in the first place? I don't know.
I wonder how long this entire process took. I mean, that sounds like they...
It was probably an all-day thing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they didn't just immediately go to the hospital, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've run through 4 jokes. None of them are appropriate regarding mouths and jaws and these types of things. It does remind me of an incident that happened to me when I was a kid. I was playing around with my buddy on the school bus, and he was sticking his eraser pencil. He was sticking his eraser in his ear. I don't know how we were doing this, but I eventually ended up sticking the sharp end of the pencil in my ear, and it broke off. And so then I had a piece of lead in my ear, and it stayed there for a couple of days and eventually got attached to my eardrum. It's bad. So I had to go to the emergency room to get this lead out of my ear.
Yes.
And they were using these pinchers, and I mean, it was incredibly painful. I just remember a team holding me down,
Yeah.
attempting to inside and just get it out and poke, and they're poking my eardrum, and it's just a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And finally, somebody, I don't know who it was, in my mind, it was like, a lowly intern over in the corner that wasn't allowed to speak. It's probably a doctor's assistant. They brought in a little suction. And
took care of it.
Problem solved. After an hour of trying to dig that thing out of my head.
Ugh. Bet you didn't do that again. Though.
No, of course not. And I've never tried to stick my hand in my own mouth either. Jay Harper, your nincompoop story, sir.
Oh gosh, I feel so inadequate here with all this, but here goes. All right, this guy's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was caught smuggling 242 pounds of bologna into the United States.
Right on target with nincompoops, baby.
All right.
Here we go.
This man, he was stopped at the border with this huge stash of meat. He actually thought he was going to get it past all those. A canine, of course a canine, found the meat.
You think?
22 rolls of bologna hidden in the back of this guy's car.
Oh,
it
man.
was seized and destroyed because it is indeed illegal to smuggle meat into the U.S. from Mexico. So not as long and as as explanatory as Chris. But
I think it explains itself.
Yeah.
The man had meat on his person. It was unauthorized meat.
242 pounds of bologna.
It's a lot of meat.
That's
a lot of bologna.
A lot of bologna.
What
That's a lot of bologna.
this story tells me is I got to get some of that Mexican bologna. It must be good.
It must be pretty
If
good
we're
if they're
having to smuggle
smuggling it.
Yeah.
If they're bringing it across the border, I mean, in the obvious, is that bologna in your pants? Or? No, it's bologna in my pants.
Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason. The dogs are going to find the meat. Come on, man.
I mean, you would think that the dogs would signal on the meat. I agree, but don't disrespect a delicious smoked bologna.
I would never.
You ever had the real deal?
Oh, yeah.
Like you get a whole bologna and you see.
I've never had a whole one.
Oh, you get the whole thing. You take the casing off you.
Start slicing.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I tell you, there's a place down in Leaper's Fork. You can get some good bologna sandwiches down there. Best bologna sandwich I think I've ever had that was not made in my grandmama's kitchen. That is how